Alright, today we're going to draw out a mailbox designed to a column or column mailbox. So here's our dimensions. We can change those if you like, depending on what your preferences are. And at the same point, I want to make this mailbox a storage for tools that you may need for the yard. So I'm going to do that. So basically, we're going to start out with uh, a section view of the rounded bottom and top, and then we're going to create a boxed view of the center portion. So to do this, I have 21 inches. I can estimate this will be about 6 inches or 4 inches, so we can start designing that. If you want, you can design the 2D version and then do the 3D. It won't affect that much time, so it's not a big deal. But if you don't, it's alright also. So first things first is the base is 21, so I have to do half of that. Make sure my ortho is on, which will be 10.5, because at that point this will be my center, and if I revolve my item, that's going to be my center axis. I'm going to go up about, I think, 4 inches, go across 2 by 2, so I can get that angle that I'm looking for. And I'm going to close it out. I'm just going to create a line and use my axis line as a reference to help me trim off what I don't need. So I have something like this. Now, of course, to revolve it, I need a thickness, and I need to create it into a polyline to make it revolvable into a solid object. To do this, I'm going to use the offset command. I'm going to offset about, let's call it half an inch for the material, which I'm not sure what we're going to make it out of. It might be plaster, it might be wood. Well, let's leave it at that. And I will use the fillet command as a shortcut to make these edges perfectly square. So all I have to do is make sure that my my fillet is set at 0, which it is. Great. See, that saves me time because I don't have to drag the lines or trim them, which takes a little bit longer. I'll close these out like so, and I have the shape that I'm looking for. Now, specifications, I believe it's 42 inches to the mailbox opening, so I will have to draw a line going 42 inches up. So that's going to be my mailbox opening. I'm going to move that over. Actually, I'm just going to create a line from here to match that size. You can see I'm just dragging them out, and I have this. Now, if I dimension it from the bottom to this point, it's 42. Based on our drawing here, it shows that it's going to be 16 inches deep and 12 inches high. So I'll do that right now, just for reference. 16, 12, and 16. And then I can decide how high I want to keep going. It's 60 total. So at this point, I'm at 42, so 40, 54, and I can do 6 more inches. I'm going to do that right now, 6 more inches. Or you can go a little bit higher if you like. I'm going to do zoom extend so I can get the whole view of it. So we have something like this. I'm going to cut this top a little shorter. I'm going to do it 3 inches, so I'm doing halfway. Just using that line as a reference for now. That will be actually a section view of it, somewhat. Now I need to design the top, what kind of curvy shape I want. It looks like there's it's rounded edge here, a little cap, a little rounded, just all rounded edges pretty much, which looks pretty interesting. So I'm just going to do that. Now I have to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. It is extended out, so I have to extend out about, looks like about an inch, and then 2 inches here, and an inch back. So I'm going to go, actually go up, across 1 inch, up about 2 inches, across 2 inches, up about 3, 2, and so forth. Well, that's, of course, this is all up to you guys, what you guys want to use for sizes, but this is what my idea is. So I'm going to use the 3-point arc to create some arching. I'm going to do a radius of 1 inch. for a little bit of a rounded edge. And finally, I'm going to use that reference line which you have here and go all the way up. This is going to be one part right here. We'll close it out so you can see. These lines I'll no longer need. I'll have to fillet this edge too, make it nice and smooth, like that. And then I'm going to create one more little design, like so. Just want to make sure that the top is the end point, the highest point. Otherwise, it'll just look like it's a dimple in the top. Okay, I'm gonna now stretch that back, or you can trim it. And I'm actually gonna take this back. Well, actually, might as well make this full size of this. So I'll extrude it out later. 20 inches wide. Like so. And that's just for my reference, so I'm going to remove that. So that's going to be my design. That's going to be where the mail comes in. And in the back, I'm hoping to make this a door and a place to store items. Now, of course, we're going to have to put a thickness to this item so we can revolve it. To do that, I'm estimating about 1/2 inch, like before. I need that reference line at the bottom so I can offset it too. So that's why I just designed right there. I'm going to offset 0.5. And I have to do that for each part. Now, if you see there's a gap, like so, that's either you're missing a part, or actually when it offsets, it just creates that. Don't worry about that. All you have to do is use your fillet, but you might have to reset it back to 0 radius. Otherwise, it won't work. And it's closed up. Perfect. Nope, that's not a straight line. To see what's going. Oh yeah, because if I offset, it offsets more. So I'm going to trim that off, and I'm going to close it out this time. And here it's closed already. Oh, no, that. It's going to be closed now. So I have a part here that I'm going to revolve, and a part here that I'm going to revolve. Now, if you don't want it to have a thickness and you want it to be full out concrete, you can just close it out completely instead of giving in the offset. I'm just doing the offset to reduce the cost of material. But labor costs might be higher. Our next steps will be to p-edit this and bottom part, and then we're going to do the revolve command. So to do that, you type in p-edit, and you type in M for multiple, or you select it. You select the whole item. Click enter a space. Yes, I want to convert it into a polyline. And it should. Oh, it looks like there's a gap somewhere here. That happens often. So what I recommend doing is using the offset of the fillet command. I go around and double check all my corners to make sure that there is no gap, because we may not be able to see it, but it might be right. It might be there. So I think that looks about right, and I'm only doing the offset bottom part because I know the top part was connected because of the fillet command I used before. Alright, let's try this again. p-edit, M for multiple, J for join, enter, and you can escape it. So now it works. So that comes up often, so you gotta make sure that your lines are connected everywhere. And I'm gonna do the same thing at the bottom. p-edit, multiple, select all these, yes, J for join, enter. So you can see it's a polyline. Now what I like to do before I do any 3D solids, I make a copy of the original sketch. That way if I want to modify it, it'd be a lot easier. I'll move it over here. Alright, so our next step will be to make it into a 3D object.